The Vajra dance is powerful. It's a terma. It comes directly to Rinpoche through Goma Devi. If you see the dance, it's just incredible.
And as I learn more deeply about the dance, as I look to possibly teach it, it's such a profound practice of completely integrating our whole being into the state of contemplation.
When I finally just let go and just allowed myself to be there in that state and learn it very slowly and sing the mantras, it transformed me at a very, very deep level and has become now my most precious practice.
I met Rinpoche in 1987 in New York City at Columbia University. And also I knew even before I met him that he was my teacher. And I had read some books and I just had a very, very strong feeling. I had been looking, I had other teachers. I had a Hindu guru at one point in the early 80s. And then I met many Tibetan lamas. And then finally I met Namkhai Nobo Rinpoche.
I met Rinpoche in Baja, and I was in love with Vajra dance, and it really transformed my life. And so I went to Baja, and I met Rinpoche, and I knew that he was my teacher. There was just no question about it. And I said to my mom one day, I really, really want to see Tsegyalgar. I was compelled to see this place where Rinpoche had the dream of the Vajra dance. And when we got here, it was a very cold day, there was lots of snow, and there was not a soul here. And all I can remember is falling in love with Tsegyalgar and knowing that this is the place I had to come back to.
Mr. Anderson was the original teacher of this community. I became interested in it, and I joined this kind of local group of people who were studying the Gurdjieff teachings, which is a fourth way teaching, another kind of spiritual teaching. And I became a student of Mr. Anderson's, and then Mr. Anderson at that time had some students up in Massachusetts. And Mr. Anderson was a teacher of the Gurdjieff teachings for many years. Then in his later years, he became interested toward Buddhism. And so we were following some various Buddhist teachers. And in 1982, Mr. Anderson invited Namkhai Nobo to the United States to teach. So thus began the Dzogchen community in the United States, in America. And I've been a member and a practicing student of Namkhai Nobo's ever since.
And we also did these Gurdjieff movements, which were done to the music of Thomas de Hartmann, which were based on esoteric traditions that Gurdjieff had collected from all over the world, including Tibet. When Rinpoche came, everything was burst open. It was like having, I always think of it as being like having a circus come to town, because there were so many people from all over the world suddenly here, and Rinpoche's energy is so different and, you know, lively. And actually, the musical element of the practices was very impressive. When the first day when we did the practice, people were singing, and it was so beautiful and so powerful. It just burst everything open, really. Rinpoche was doing a personal retreat up on our piece of land up there in Buckland. He had a series of dreams in which he received the practice from the Dakinis and from a particular Dakini, Goma Devi. You know, whenever he had the dreams, he wrote them down in great detail, and they were all these amazing steps on a mandala. And there was a platform up there that had been built before he did his retreat, and it was a very convenient place to paint the first mandala. So he asked for paint, and he painted the mandala, and then he began teaching it to us.
So So the idea is just to work with the experiences that you're having as a means of what we call integration. You know, the whole idea of integration is just to have everything, all aspects of your dimension, your body, voice, and mind, to be integrated into the state of presence, into the state of instant presence, into your own natural state. And so Vajra dance is a way of practicing to be able to do that in an ordinary life or in everything that you do. And because it's kind of under controlled conditions where it helps you to harmonize your energy.
Being with others on the mandala is very powerful. So it's a practice that we're actually doing together. We're dancing and interacting in this way that really connects and opens my eyes to how much we're all moving together all the time in our lives. It really is like a, concentrated reflection of that.
This is the only teacher that I've had, and this is my teacher that I'm going to always have, where all of the mantras and the practices are sung. So for me as a musician, it also resonated with my love of music.
Basically all the practices we do have chanting or singing involved. There are three gates, three doors that we have of it's basically the three essences of our existence. There's our body, which is our physical body, and our voice, which is like the way we connect, and our energy level is with the voice, and the mind. So we're always bringing the voice into play because we're bringing all those three into play. We'll do mudras with the body, and we sing with the voice, and we have a certain thing we're either thinking about or just being in the natural state with our mind. So the sound is that, to integrate our energy level into the practice.
Once you're a student of a master and you connect to the teachings, we all want to share our practice with each other, share the dance together, and share in other activities and things we do together. And we do that to help each other and to help ourselves. The whole principle in Dzogchen is everything that we do you have to integrate the Mahayana perspective into your vision as well. And the Mahayana perspective of Buddhism is we do things to benefit all beings. And so the whole principle of coming to the community and functioning as a community is in that spirit, I guess you could say, is to kind of collaborate with one another. And the whole idea of collaboration is to benefit yourself, everyone around you that's part of the community, and whatever influence that might have in the larger world. And the dance is just a big part of that.
Our shared interest in the teachings, that's totally what draws me back. I'm so interested to be with other people who are really wanting to know this information and all have the transmission and are working with that all the time. And that's really the deepest purpose of their lives, so that when we gather, I know that that's in all of our hearts. So every time we are together, I feel like this. It really touches and satisfies something very deep for me of this is the real purpose of life. We're all really working with the real purpose of our lives. And we all have the shared vision that this is the real purpose of our lives, which not everybody does have that idea. That trying to realize our real nature is really the real purpose of our lives. So that's the profound connection that we have.
And the mind becomes very quiet. It's not something that you can sit and think about your day while you're doing it. The integration of the body, speech, and mind that happens with the practices like Vajra dance brings us into the state of contemplation, in that place beyond concepts. And that's what all of these practices do. And I think that people all over the world find some practice at some point in their life that changes their mind, quiets the mind, and opens the heart. And for some of us, that's exactly what Vajra dance does. Your body and your speech and mind are completely integrated into this practice, and then the heart just opens.